something that I've been really wanting to put together for a while, and I'm not alone here. I got my friend in person right here at Jbgundamwing.
What's up, guys?
I got my sister, Absol Hunter, right here.
Hello.
And I have on the other line, my one of my closest friends in this matter and everything, TheDarkneon.
A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
Ah, here you come with the memes. So this is very funny. As reviled as the prequels are, there was a lot of memes that come out of the matter, or used in everyday comments and everything like that.
Just go around the internet, just Google up a comment on a comment thread, and 9 times out of 10, you'll find everyone who gets the line instantly.
Oh, definitely. Especially when you say lines like, sector clear, then not clear, not clear. Or watch those wrist rockets. And,
Hospital power.
I just got that. Wrist rockets.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, as you can guess by our quoting and the subject title in the video and everything, the high ground is obviously talking about Star Wars. Now, this isn't going to be
Wait, Star Wars? I thought we were here talking about Star Trek. What the hell am I doing here?
No, we're here to talk about that show that has the floating telephone box with the robot named Spock and the guy named Buck Rogers.
I swear to God, if you ever said offense a guy smack your head, just so I'm kidding.
Like I said, I'm just joking. Those people say, yeah, Babylon 5.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, Star Wars. And this is not going to be a news site. This is not going to be where we debunk and explore myths. But this is just a bunch of 3 dudes and a sister just talking about Star Wars and then going off the rails from there. So if you want,
honestly, want to look at the other type of stuff, just wait. YouTube will probably recommend that to you.
Yeah, like that's the thing is you'll find plenty of channels for that. So this is just me and my personal circle and what I love about the franchise and our experiences with it. And if you have this reaches you in any personal way, you can comment on the bottom below. But we're trying to keep things civilized here because let's just face it, it's kind of a battlefield out there, and all fair is in love and war. But I'm a live and let live guy, so if you're not into Star Wars right now and you happen to find this video, well, stick around, you might enjoy it, and if not, well, you got probably plenty of other people to look at that might be more towards your interest. So, but we're not here to judge, we're not here to criticize, we're just here just to talk about what we like.
To be fair, if you clicked on this video without looking at the thumbnail, that fault blames on you.
Yeah, YouTube's kind of a weird place and scary place right now if all the videos on my feed are up to anything, but let's not get into that nasty cesspool.
Anywho, what are we talking about today?
Well, Star Wars, obviously, but this is like our first night.
Star Wars are we talking about? Is there a certain week that's going on that has Star Wars really kicking up a notch?
Oh yes, the holiday special. Okay, that was lame. But
I found that on YouTube.
But yeah, I remember we did the holiday special in a friend of ours stream, and even Derek was wondering why, just why. And it was the same year that Force Awakens came out, and this friend, I'll keep them anonymous for now because I don't want to make them feel like ugh. But yeah, they were pretty good about they find lost media, so they showed us the holiday special, the best quality, and I was just watching the whole thing unfold well, I understand why George made that comment. If I had my way, I'd take a hammer and smash every single copy that exists.
Honestly, if you think you know how bad it is just from watching all the notable reviews from John Tron, Nostalgia Critic, Brad Jones, or no, you don't know the real horror. Honestly, you don't.
You don't know
the iceberg in comparison.
Yeah, you don't know the power of the holiday special. It must be destroyed. Yeah. So obviously this week, The Mandalorian should be coming out, and by the time this video goes up, it probably will come out. We don't know if it's good, we don't know if it's bad, but everything shows that it looks very promising.
At the time of this recording, 2 days,
Man, you're really going to make me want to use that pork button, aren't you?
Hey, you're the one who suggested it.
I just said, because I have a feeling that some of us are casual.
Bro, you know me for 10 years now, almost 11 years. Come on. I'm going to give you a reason to use that pork button.
Yeah.
You guys have such potty mouths.
Keep in mind, My mother was never one. The only word she would never let me say truly is the F word. If I said that, oh
yeah. He just punched himself for display. And
I said the F word.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, wow, you really messed yourself up, man. So,
Yeah, not only are we having the Mandalorian come out this week, but a very interactive form of storytelling. Thankfully, that's devoid of any microtransaction bullcrap. Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order.
I have $20 left on that pre-order to pay off, and I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, like November is known as also like October is Broketober. November just has November stuff coming out, like Walking Simulator 2.0. I'm kidding. I actually played a little bit of Death Stranding, and I actually got into it. I'm surprised how much I dug it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he got into it like that. Derek, literally, have you played Death Stranding, Derek, or no?
I'm still trying to reel over after Halloween, honestly. So,
Dude,
like, I only used my money to buy Luigi's Mansion 3. So.
Oh yeah, which I actually got done with an Easter egg video about that game. It was really nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Fallen Order, yeah, that looked promising.
That Stranding game, Luigi's Mansion 3, and obviously a new Call of Duty game, which surprisingly hearing actually a lot of good. Apparently they decided, maybe we should actually change the engine this time.
What's funny is he told me a funny story recently about his brother-in-law like repeatedly dying in a mission, and his sister kept telling him.
There are tips. It was a Call of Duty game. He kept fighting juggernauts. He kept dying. He kept dying so much.
And swearing so loud it could be heard across.
So loud that my sister just started watching what he was doing, reading the tips, and she'd tell him, "Babe, look, there's tips." He'd die again. "Babe, read the tips." He dies again. "Babe, read the screen." And then
don't need to read the instructions.
He actually starts reading it. Use flash suppressants and grenades to help disable a juggernaut. And he does it, and he's like, "Huh, that worked." He's like, "See, babe? See what happens when you read the tips?"
What was that line that John Connor said in Salvation about T-600s? A way to disable their tracking. Oh yeah, stab the back of the neck, their motor cortex. Otherwise, it'll diffuse them only for a little second. But yeah, that's what made me think of the Juggernauts. So that reminds me. Speaking of gaming, when you were the one who got me into the Force Unleashed after I swore off the thing for some reason.
It was, Chris had said when I first told him about it, back then, Chris will even admit I had a problem with this. I had a problem overhyping the game. I would only talk about the best parts. I wouldn't talk about anything bad or anything. I would just overhype it. So one of those days, I bring over my laptop and I show Chris the first trailer to The Force Unleashed 2. Once he saw that trailer, he was like, "You know what? I should give these a shot." So after that, I lent him the copy of The Force Unleashed. Was it the book or the game?
You gave me you let me play the game, but you also gave me the book for my birthday that year.
Yeah, I did. I gave you the book for your birthday to add context to some of the scenes. That's what it was.
And that's what the reason I bought.
Good.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Derek.
No, I was agreeing that the book was really good, and so as a game, it was almost like a return of the Shadows of the Empire type of hype.
On top of that, the book also gave actual names to the characters. So that's why we refer to the Star Killer every now and then as Galen Marek. And then there was another book that referred to the guy. There was some other media that called him Jbgundamwing.
No. It wasn't that. Bro, I can't believe we forgot about this. We actually met Sam Witwer about 4 or 5 years ago at a convention. Remember, bro?
Yes.
Chris actually has a recording of him doing the Emperor thing, and, I brought up, the fact that he was going to be named Jbgundamwing, which was the original name in production. I asked him, why didn't you guys go with that name? I like the name they were given and everything, Galen Merrick, but why did you guys change it? And he answered honestly. He wasn't even mad. He just said, to be honest with you, that wasn't really our decision. That name Jacob, he had that as a working name, but the author had some other ideas. And in the industry, the book goes above the game. So,
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's funny. So, like, yeah. So we say that we decided to give Galen Merrick the name of the original killer, and the clone we decided to give the Jacob Nyon name, kind of like Ben Riley and Peter Parker.
Huh. I didn't know that for the clone part.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the clone is still referred to as Galen too. But yeah.
Star Killer. They never call him Galen again.
And then, of course, Galen is now a popular name thanks to Matt Mikkelsen as the ill-fated inventor of it. Oh, by the way, oh my God, Rogue One. Can you believe it, dude? We're like 5 years after Star Wars made a comeback, and oh man,
Really?
because
It's been
4 years, 4 years,
I was
4
gonna
years.
say.
We're gonna be five.
Give it like another 12 months, 13 give or take.
Yeah, but basically
We're back.
because it's like I remember, yeah. You can track on my playlist the videos of me reacting to The Force Awakens. You see me now, and you can see it's just crazy to think that much time has passed.
Yeah.
And we know that, yeah, the fandom may seem splintered, but at the same time, there's never been more discussion for Star Wars more than ever. So you can say it has its blessings and its curses, but you gotta say though, like engagement for Star Wars reminds me of the early days, like around the prequel time when there were all these books coming out. There were
TV shows and everything. Oh, you wanna get to work?
Video games by the bucket load.
oh yes,
Are you working tomorrow? Yeah, I am. I don't work till the afternoon though.
yeah.
And let's not
So
forget the humongous amount of toys. You know, this is smooth move off that. Every single character got himself an action figure.
we're still doing this.
We're gonna take this guy.
Yeah, okay, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. So. Yeah, we were kind of like figuring out how to get this thing to work took up most of the time we had for this thing, but
Sorry. I distracted Chris by delivering packages and peeing on grass.
Well, I know. I wanted to get you at least on the first greeting to let you know.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
I'll
like
be here for at least that.
yeah, well, we'll be definitely doing more of these when we can get you in person. But if we can have
Saturdays and Sundays are my new days off. You know why? You know I tell you if they change.
Yes,
I'm
you
off
do.
on weekends.
Yeah, and Derek, he has his off days on Mondays and Tuesdays as it stands so far.
Yeah. So.
I don't know, but
Sorry, it just sucks being a reliable employee.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I think me and him can carry on our own for the first thing.
For at least our part of it. Anyway.
Yeah. So me and Derek can carry on the rest of the episode. I know you'd have to go, but it's nice to get you on this because I know you have.
Yeah.
Like I said, you just brought up that trivia bit about Galen when we met Sam Witwer, which was a very cool experience. And
yeah.
Like I said, this fool right here, Jay, he's been responsible for a lot of Star Wars stuff that I had never heard about because he didn't just read the lore. He devoured every expanded universe.
I wouldn't say devoured,
but he like really got in depth with every expanded universe book back then, because and I know that was saying, but back then at the time, like you would tell me stuff about Mara Jade and Grand Admiral Thrawn and this and that.
And I remember you'd look at me not like a little, not starry-eyed, but you'd be like have that look of wonder, like what's gonna happen next with these guys.
That's why I loved your reaction video. I wanted you to record your reaction when you saw Rebels Season 3 and they showed that Thrawn indeed came back.
My naked reaction.
I love how you figured it out when they're talking about his tactics in the art. You're like,
no way, they're not talking.
And then Thrawn himself walks on screen.
Oh no, it's actually him. I turned into that. I'm trying to. Okay. I gotta be a little quiet about this. I basically turned into that girl who creams her panties whenever she sees the hottest guy in the world.
Wow, dude.
What? That's not bad. That's not slurring.
Then again, don't forget. Then again, I am the guy who used to have my vinyl scratch reaction anytime a certain Chrome dome would walk on screen.
Yeah, I turned into you whenever I saw Thrawn.
It's funny how I became so enamored with the Chrome Dome.
Oh yeah, Phasma?
Yeah.
The funny thing, her name actually came from the movie title Phantasma.
Yep, because Abrams was a fan of that.
Which, by the way, that first movie is trippy as all hell. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, so like I said, I figured that you'd be very great for fanboy discussions and also supplying us with some of the innuendos, more often than not.
I get what you're doing there, huh?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Star Wars trivia, Derek, this one's for you.
Yeah.
Did you know this? Recently, this year, it was revealed by Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter, that because you know how Force Awakens is like Han's movie, Last Jedi is for Luke. You know, like each of the original cast has their own movie to focus on them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker was supposed to be Leia's, and what they were gonna do with her, I'm even more depressed about her dying because they said they were
I
gonna
think
make
I've
her
heard
a
about
full.
it. We would have like a lightsaber fight a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I think what they were doing. Oh god, what was it? They were gonna make her a full-fledged Jedi. The powers, the lightsaber.
She was going to be the last Jedi. Luke mentioned, he says, "I won't be the last Jedi."
Yeah, she was going to be the last Jedi, or as I call it, the last of the old guard.
In fact, she could have been the Skywalker that was rising, but
No.
alas, it was not
Yeah,
meant to
I
be.
think that's why they chose the title, though. So,
Yeah.
like,
And so they probably changed it in a way that the title still makes sense.
At least the meeting, anyway.
Yeah. Watch, it's going to be about the Chiss and their love of those force-sensitive females that could guide their lost ships.
Oh yeah, I told you about that, didn't I?
Did you know the term Skywalker has a basis in our language? That's what
It's like,
Thrawn told.
do you know what it means in our language, Lord Vader? No. What does it mean? It means Skywalker. For a moment, Lord Vader looked at him in slight confusion. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh.
The Thrawn books. Yeah. Oh,
Wait, they got more of them.
yeah, it's funny. Like, dude, I think if we ever have to have an in-depth discussion about Thrawn, he's the guy to go to. So I think like we'll have topics on future High Ground episodes. Right now we're just spitballing because it's our first day.
this is our pilot episode, so just
Yeah.
give us a little bit of a slack, guys. We'll get at this.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, guys, please and thank you. Please don't make fun of any of us if you can help it. If you do, at least make it a good burn.
Fine. We're going to get hurt about it.
Yeah. Prequel memes are preferred for insults if you can do them. This is if we make our second episode, we have to quote, "This is getting out of hand."
Now there are two of them. Like, one Star Wars meme that I love. Mace Windu, take a seat, young Skywalker. He's like, and Anakin, yes, Master Window. Or Window. What does that mean? Or what do you mean? That's not funny. Oh, you'll get it. It's shockingly funny.
You know what you think of? I just thought of a joke. Would you care to tell it to me?
You wouldn't get it.
God, we can. It's been a month. We still can't get away from that movie.
Oh, by the way, side thing. Todd Phillips did confirm Sophie's alive.
Oh yeah, no one ever thought that he actually killed Zazie Beetz, huh?
Yeah, they did.
For real?
Me, Leia, Chris, mostly everybody in my family, and a lot of the internet.
Well, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so we gotta send you off. Okay, Derek, I'm gonna put on hold. I'll recall you back and I'll splice this together. But for now, I gotta send him home real quick. Okay?
Okay.
Sorry, Derek.
No problem. Right. Well,
Hey, Derek, this was fun. Everyone on YouTube, I had a lot of fun. I'll be here for the next episode. You know, like, love you all. Please don't hate us. Bye.
We're right back after these messages.
And we're back. Sorry about the intermission. What should be minutes for us should only be seconds for you back at home. The wonders of technology. To think some of this might have been influenced by the very movie we're talking about. The fact that, the modern age was really ushered in by some of the stuff that George pushed. I keep telling people who derived the prequels, we wouldn't have Thanos and the Avengers if it wasn't for the steps they took back in 99.
I honestly would argue different. We're definitely not using like blue holograph glitchy technology, so that's risk.
Well, yeah, okay. So so we're back, and
We're fairly down by one, but that's to be expected. This is our first time going.
Yep.
And like I said, I won't expect this to be like a weekly thing or whatever. No, I think we'll just do it like when every blue moon, when we really feel like just talking Star Wars. And I have a feeling within the next few months, we'll have a lot to talk about with that brand new TV show with that poncho wearing Boba looking guy, Iggy, the Mandalorian.
On Prancer, on Dancer, Rhythm, Java, and Blitzen.
Yeah. Oh man. Boba Fett. There's a guy who went from being a toy, appearing in a holiday special and appearing in Empire, to becoming like this all-encompassing legend. And hell, I think my favorite portrayal of him actually is the Robot Chicken one that didn't go out like a chump totally.
Hey, Solo on the rocks. Can't beat me up. Boba Fett, I'm the greatest bounty hunter ever.
hmm I got a special delivery for Bob A. Feet.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, why not?
But yeah. So yeah, the
That's what happens. They
Mandalorian.
sell a lot of action figures.
But not
And
funny as
it only has 5 lines total in the entire franchise.
I
Well, not
remember.
the entire franchise. It definitely has a lot more lines, but just in the original trilogy.
and then the Clone Wars.
And one of them was.
Yeah.
I remember when we went to one of the comic conventions a few years ago. I remember I got an actual signature from Boba Fett himself.
Jeremy Bulloch, the original suit actor for Boba.
Yep. He just saw me. I just pointed at him, and he slowly did the pose, and then I got a free autograph.
And Jay and me are too busy talking to him to even consider getting our stuff signed. But my sister brought her little notebook for like notes and stuff, and she got autographed. So that's nice.
I a picture with the dude, so that's something we all have. We actually met the legend himself.
And what's funny is how he actually has a cameo in Sith. He's the driver of the Tantive 4. That's it. So, receiving another transmission from the Chancellor's office that was him. I guess George thought, well, he's never been seen outside the MASH, so here's my chance to make it up to him. Yeah, so that's a good way to start with our first topic because I remember when Boba, in the expanded universe came back, that was such a big deal, and his legend really grew. Oh my gosh, I wish Jay was still here for this because he could tell you all about the stuff that happened to Boba that like made him like a top tier legendary character in the old EU.
So legendary, he fell into the same Sarlacc pit like
Twice.
3 times, I believe.
And on top of that, but I mean like he like
But
his daughter.
let's face it, it's mostly just like dumb luck that happened. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure at that moment he made sure to always just come in through with the slave one and take pot shots at it all the way from outer space.
Hell, don't forget, even in the Battlefront trailer, when you play Boba and he almost falls into the Sarlacc, he says, "No, not this time." But yeah, like I said, about Boba. Shoot, oh darn it, where was I going with the Boba thing?
Well, he also helped train Jaina, not Jaina, it's Jaina Solo to be able to handle her like evil at the time brother.
And also, she's best friends with one of his bloodline. She's a Fett too. Again, I wish Jay was here because he'd be able to tell me the name. And the dude, like I told you, he was steeped in legend. He was one of the.
Most I was able to read most of the books that were available at my library at high school.
Same here, actually.
Weren't enough, weren't a lot, but it was a good handful to keep me occupied for
because for context, Iggy, they had made books based off. There's some bigger books that happened after that had like more Empire stuff. The children of Han Solo and Leia were born, and they were becoming Jedi, and Luke was training them. So they had a young Jedi apprentice book, and hell, even Wookiee, I think Chewbacca's nephew, Lobaka, was also a student friend of theirs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't really read the books.
Oh yeah, but because the text is there. Every single one of those is tiny textbooks. However, Star Wars is one of those few books that have really, really good audiobook publishers because they really it's practically a radio play. They even put like the sound effects or the music. Like the Phasma book sounds incredible on Audible.
Honestly, the audiobook version of Death Troopers is eerie, but so satisfying to listen to.
So
one of these days, I only got the book, so
Yeah. So shameless plug for Audible. I have no code or nothing with them. I'm just saying, but if you have Audible and you like Star Wars, and you probably already don't need me to tell you to buy the Star Wars books on Audible because they're top tier productions. One of my favorite books to listen to is Battlefront 2, the story about oh god, what was the name of the Inferno Squad commander?
Inferno Squad, yeah.
Versio. Versio is about Iden Versio and her first mission after the Death Star exploded. So that was a great book, and it was so well acted. It had so much references to both the prequel era and the current era. You know, the original trilogy era, and it's like they had music and everything. I think I should show you those books, like because you don't have to be like a super gearhead to like really like them. But like, you know, me and Jason, we don't know everything backwards and forward. We're like, wow, I know what they're talking about by that senator.
Me, I'll be like, what the heck is going on? Who the heck are all these people? And what am I supposed to do with these?
You're giving to me. Gosh, how many guns you got in there? Yeah. So another thing is a book that I think you actually would like is Princess of Alderaan, because it's about Leia's upbringing, and she kind of knows that she's adopted, but she doesn't know that she came from, you know, Padme and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's incredible. Like, she actually has her first incident with the Force on a camping trip by accident. Like it's kind of like a Girl Scout troop, and they were hiking, and she almost fell off something, but she was able to use the Force to like kind of right herself before she fell, or the
Kind
Force
of like what she kind of did in
Last Jedi, yeah.
Last Jedi with when the ship exploded and
Yeah,
she
yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically
Pulled herself back in, so she kind of did something like that, and it really makes you feel like even though she's this legendary character that we know, uh, um, the book really makes you feel like a teen, and she's like growing up, and I think you would like it because Dr. Sattler, Vice Admiral Holdo, is only just Emmeline Holdo, and she is like the best way to describe her. She's Luna Lovegood in this book,
Oh,
and
man, that sounds awesome. I want to grow a friend like Luna.
yeah, and the funny thing is because of her planet's culture about expressiveness and uniqueness, she always like would come into school with a different hair color. That of what mood.
So she really definitely takes up some aspects of Leia's birth parentage.
Yeah. So that's what Holdo did. Amel and Holdo would like say something odd about the wildlife, and very flowery, very Luna. She's very Luna Lovegood, and she would have like greenish blue hair and everything like that. And it's a very fascinating story. So yeah, if sorry. So I would tell you, Iggy, I should probably just show you the Leia book and tell me what you think, because it's a very good book, and it's written by one of the best in the business, Claudia Gray. I think she's currently one of the best authors of anything Star Wars, because she doesn't like write it about just the spaceship battles and this and that. She really makes you care for these characters, even if they're characters we think we know, like Leia, or like one of the best books from this new canon that I keep recommending up the wazoo is Lost Stars, which is basically a love story. Two people born on the same planet, the Empire comes, and then they both train for the academy.
Don't feel too much. Let people actually read it. Honestly, people, it's so good that they actually made a manga adaptation of this thing. You know what? When the last time that manga and Star Wars were ever involved with? Phantom Menace.
That was like 20 years ago. Damn.
Oh, man, those manga books are actually pretty good.
I wanted them to do.
They can't get around making Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and all the sequel trilogy ones.
Imagine what Anakin's burning would look.
Big bank with these things.
Imagine what Anakin's burning would look like in a manga format.
Oh man, that'd be like tragic. It would almost like something out of Berserk. Honestly, that would actually fit the tone for Revenge of the Sith. Now that I think about it. It's like Berserk or Hellsing is the kind of art style I would think of when I think of Revenge of the Sith.
I think they would make a dramatic panel of Dooku's head being severed for the kill him now moment.
Decapitation.
Yeah, but yeah, like Star Wars. With his head. Yeah, I think Star Wars manga there should be more of that. I'm surprised there isn't.
Maybe copyright issues.
At the very least, we got a good manga from a really good book, which.
However.
And yet.
Then again, if you just want to see good manga of Star Wars, there was this one comic I read that was amazing online. It was from, you can find it on some webtoon or it's like some comic specific app, and it was about Star Wars from the perspective of Luke Skywalker, and it's basically the original trilogy, but it's just done. The art style was some of the most beautiful art. I think even you would like it. It's because it's very anime, but it's not like obviously anime, but it's I it just got
So
to be seen
it's
for itself.
basically we were describing it as like the pseudo anime from like Teen Titans or Avatar: The Last Airbender.
No, more like Studio Ghibli,
Ah,
Uh,
okay. Now I can see what you're talking about.
or more like
Spirited Away, like that,
Spirited Away.
Nausicaa, that kind of stuff.
That
Or like Hayao
Naruto.
Miyazaki style.
But it's still Star Wars. Like Tarkin looks like Tarkin, Luke looks like Luke, and Vader pretty much just looks like any screen grab of Vader. But that's amazing. You see, these are some of the best Vaders I've seen drawn in anything, and it was a completely fan done project that was eventually endorsed by Lucasfilm, and I might be getting my information wrong, but the way I see it, they actually updated it weekly, and it was very like just. I've seen the movies, but it gave them such a really good because it's all from Luke's point of view in a certain way, so it was very good. I gotta find that. I gotta link it to you, bro, because I think you'd really get a kick out of it.
Well, I'll see that when we're done with this. But anyways, we were talking about Mandalorian before he
Okay.
signed this big Audible advert, which, let's be honest, most of the YouTubers have already like discussed Audible at a
Yeah,
hedonistic length.
if you explain Star Wars lore, there's a good chance you probably have an Audible commercial at the end of your video.
Anywho,
Yeah.
The
So
Mandalorian. I mean, I don't know much about him, other than it looks interesting. The trailer alone, it looks more like movie quality.
despite this being a
Like
TV show,
Yeah.
but again, the game
like
of
modern Western.
the game of TV shows are changing these days because back in the day, the TV was very quick to make, very budgeted, but also it had limitations that you couldn't quite do on the big screen. And
Oh,
whenever you
I
attempt,
remember all the years we were chomping at a bit about like news about a Star Wars live action series about something from like the underworld or something like that,
Rick McCollum kept talking about that.
like something
Eventually, he left,
than New Hope, like those types of days.
and
But
yeah,
most
and
of
I
it I
think that
got was just animated shows like Clone Wars and Rebels.
because I
But
think what they
always
said was
that one like infinitesimal thing that was like off at a distance, so close yet so far away.
I think why they never made it because after Sith, the guy who produced Sith said that they were going to make a TV show next. I think why it never got picked up was the idea to do it probably would have just been too expensive. And while Lucasfilm did have a lot of money from the movies, I don't think they'd be able to finance a show that was sustainable like that.
Mhm.
And it's funny because I honestly it would have been like it, an HBO type of show, like Game of Thrones or
Well, this was before the Game of Thrones boom too.
yeah.
But you were saying again?
What was I saying? Oh
That
yeah.
you're impressed by the trailer and all that.
Oh yes. Well, yeah, it's very movie quality like, and I'm just thinking, our TV shows are trying too hard to be movies
Well,
now.
they don't have to try hard anymore. They now have the budgets and the storytelling because back then it used to be considered if you were said you were made for TV, that kind of gave you you're not good enough to be in the league now. But now, because Breaking Bad happened, Sopranos happened, like all these prestige
Game of
shows
Thrones.
happened.
Let's just be honest. That one was a huge brick of like we were towing the line between like theater quality and being a TV show at the same time.
Which one?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. Yeah, and then we're seeing that happen now. Whenever there's a lot of like shows that are like
And then
of
all
the
like Stranger Things and
the the boys.
or Castle Rock.
And now we're going to be getting Watchmen, that kind of stuff. So it's like the game has changed. So that's why I think Disney recognized they had something on their hands with this. And like I said, this is one of the most expensive shows currently made on TV. Like, I think they spent this a couple of million. Although the one that'll beat them in
To be
terms of
fair, it's
budget.
expensive enough that it has to launch this new system. Kind of the way that Nintendo had to hold back Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for their new
The Switch. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I know for a fact it's definitely not gonna be for kiddies. It's gonna be for adults and teens. Just by the way how
When that one guy got stuck in the
guy
door.
got stuck through the door.
But to be fair, a lot of kids look up to older stuff. Anyways, that's why PlayStation was a big hit, while Nintendo was just kind of.
I personally do not mind. I would say the more grown-up approach. No offense to Clone Wars or Rebels, but I don't like them too much.
What's funny is that early seasons of Clone Wars and Rebels were that, but
it had to be kid friendly because they were.
They got darker. You got Darth Maul cutting people's heads off screen.
Yeah, but still, the art style, it kills the living heck out of me. I did not like it.
Well,
it was supposed to be an homage to those
Thunderbirds.
The Thunderbirds type of
the puppets, the Team America kind of
stuff.
And then Rebels especially was a lot more closer to Star Wars because the art style was more akin to
Ralph McQuarrie.
Yeah, the Ralph McQuarrie.
I just saw it as a much more less line version of the Clone Wars
cartoon way back when.
Way back then, including the movie too.
Oh, by the way, what made us laugh about the Clone Wars cartoon from back then is everybody looks angry all the time. Everybody. Especially Yoda.
Yoda had puffy eyes and he looked so mad.
He was like...
He's so mad.
Yoda looked like... too old for the stuff I'm getting.
We're talking about the Genndy Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, the Samurai Jack one.
Yeah.
Although Anakin looks great.
I'm so pissed that no one's gotten the home media released yet. The only way you can actually watch those is on YouTube, which honestly, it's not that bad. They managed to put together all of it together in one seamless stream, but
the only thing that looked good in Clone Wars was General Grievous.
And the Clone Troopers looked good.
That's it. They're the only two things that look good. Everyone else, no thank you.
Anakin looked good when he had his long hair coming, finally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the short hair, no.
Yeah, he looked a little...
He looked a little weird. He looked like Samurai Jack.
Well, especially when he lost his arm.
No.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, but so... But you're right. Up to this point, we've only had Star Wars cartoon shows. Hell, even going back to the 80s, we got droids and Ewok show.
Ooh,
the Ewok show was...
Ewoks in kindergarten first. They would actually show us small movies, we have movie days or something on VHS. And I remember there's stuff we watched Dance the Menace and all that. But the one that just really got me was that for some reason they decided to show Ewoks, and the beginning advertisement showed both the Ewoks and droids, and I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Basically, the Ewoks added more magic to the thing. It was basically Care Bears and Smurfs with Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
And droids was just the misadventures of 3PO and R2, which is basically what happens to them every day.
Yep.
And there was funny, there's a pirate, a big angry pirate fat guy there, and his name is Kylo Ren. That was years ago. That is his name, Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. You sure it's not Mr. Kylo Ren?
No, that was before Kylo. And in fact, when I first, not Kylo, Tybo Ren. But point is, Ren was his name, and he had an old noise. So when I heard him say Kylo Ren, I'm like, wait, could that be a reference to that droid's character? Kylo Ren.
Coming back to the Clone Wars again, it's funny that there was one or two episodes that almost felt like a callback to droids. Especially that one where 3PO and R2 were solving this mystery
on Coruscant, I think.
Found. And watching something is this feels almost like a droids episode, doesn't it?
Well, I remember Alexis actually had tapes of droids and Ewoks, and we borrowed that. Yeah, and I remember another one. It was Sunny Day in the Void with that weird slug general that was trying to lead the droids into a secret mission, and they got lost in that sunny place. But yeah, Mandalorian, like the grown-up approach, like you said, looks interesting.
Yeah.
And what's cool, I like the voice for him. I heard his voice on one of those illicit versions on YouTube when people recorded some of the sneak peeks back then before they got taken down. And I
Yeah.
thought,
Good.
damn, I like this guy.
Wow.
Because there's a part when in the office you see in the previews when the stormtroopers are aiming at him and they tell him, "We outnumber you 6-1," and he goes, "I like those odds." And I'm like, ooh, damn! Like already, I was like enamored by him because they said that he didn't say much. According to the research, they say he doesn't talk much. But when he does, it's usually something important or it's like something really cool. And he's based on like those cowboys like Clint Eastwood and like the Man with No Name and the good, the bad, and the ugly, that kind of stuff.
The one thing I actually hope during this series is that they don't ever take. You could take his helmet off. Let's just never ever see his face, because once you get a
Maybe
face,
just his eyes.
maybe a close up of an eye, but you can't ever see the full face at all. It has to be.
Maybe until the very end. Like maybe at the very, very end of the entire run, they can finally show it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Although
it might actually be a good payoff if it's like a series finale kind of thing.
I'm actually quite curious to know how long will it actually run.
Right now, the first season will be like I think 8 to 10 episodes, I think, and they are already commissioning a season 2.
Aren't they going to be like an hour long? I think.
Yeah, 40 to an hour long. So that's going to be good. So, yeah, and
Basically, we're watching mini movies.
well, that's what streaming shows are now. And hell, the good thing about streaming shows is that you're not confined to just 2 hours or even 2.5 hours. You can have your story unfold as organically as possible if you have your story tightly knit. However, if you're meandering, you might end up losing the audience. But I think the thing about streaming shows like Ask Derek, he watched some of the Netflix shows from Marvel back then that were pretty, like they expanded their story. Like Jessica Jones was pretty damn good from what I heard.
Oh, it's great.
So I heard Daredevil was fine, but it kind of went off the rails a bit.
But what are you gonna do?
And of course, Luke Cage started off good, but only didn't get too far. And Punisher, we barely knew you before they canned him. But yeah, point is
let's face it, the Marvel thing is just, it was in a weird place. But thanks to this same stream service, Disney Plus, we're gonna get like actual tied-in media that is
like
actually
Loki,
referenced in the movies, like Ms. Marvel and
Wanda.
She-Hulk.
By the way, one of the writers just got picked to run the show, and she had worked on a couple of comedic shows, including Rick and Morty for one episode. So that might give you an inclination for what run they're going for. So we might be seeing a She-Hulk that's kind of like the maybe a bit of the fourth wall breaker. I don't know, because that was her shtick back in the day. By the way, fun trivia.
Folks, She-Hulk was the one that was breaking the comic panels in your face.
Fun trivia. Did you know that I read a thing that said, do you know that Stan Lee actually made She-Hulk because of the Incredible Hulk TV show running at the time? Because apparently he was afraid that Universal would say at one point, "We're so popular, hell, we'll even make our own spin-off She-Hulk character because there's like just a bionic woman," something like that. So they thought, so Stan thought, "I better make it first so we can have the rights to that. Otherwise, Universal can say we don't even need your Hulk no more. We got our own She-Hulk." And that, so it was made as a preemptive move to make sure that Universal don't like create a She-Hulk because there's going to already be a She-Hulk.
Dan tends to do that. The same thing happened with Jessica Drew's Spider-Woman. Dan knew there's a Spider-Man, there's got to be a Spider-Woman somewhere, so we better make sure she's at least a little bit different in the
Yeah. He was. Say what you will about the guy. He was very business savvy, so that's why we still have a lot of what we have now. But yeah, so this new Disney Plus thing, everything is running on Mandalorian. In fact, one of my favorite.
It's Mandalorian, Lady and the Tramp, that High School Musical, and honestly, let's just face it, everyone's gonna buy this for the Jeff Goldblum show. Am I right?
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum show. Yeah, hell, my sister is very interested in that Lady and the Tramp movie. Like, oh, it looks sweet.
I so want to see it because, well, it's Lady and the Tramp, and for Pete's sake, on Twitter I saw the dogs, and they were both standing up. Mainly little lady.
Aww.
She was up happy. again, I personally want to see it because I have a huge attachment to the Disney. So,
Yeah, and you know that's
Fun
another good
fact,
thing.
fun fact, Iggy. The
Hmm.
dogs they have for training the main leads, they're rescue dogs. So, you know,
It's even cuter.
yep.
But that's another good thing about Disney Plus. It can get what might be considered too unsure or too risky for movies is that, for example, I know everyone says as much as they want an Obi-Wan movie, we don't know if that's sustainable for 2 hours. So getting an Obi-Wan miniseries might be preferable, or getting a Lady in the Tramp movie. Like, there's a lot of movies that could remake in live action, but not every single one of them has to go to the theater. So that would be a good place for Disney to experiment. So,
Right.
hmm.
But in a way, it's good, but at the same time, it's kind of
I'm not
bad because
for.
then the movie theater's going to be losing business.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Man, we're in a crossroads right now. You can see the winds changing.
Yep.
Is it weird that the character I'm most interested in for Mandalorian is what is it? It was Gina's. It's the actor.
Cara Dune.
Yeah, Cara June. That I'm more
Yeah.
interested in Cara June's character than with the Mandalorian.
Well, the Mandalorian, I think we got all we needed out of the trailer. That we know what kind of character he is, so we want to see what everyone else is like.
So, he's basically the main character.
Well, yeah, he's kind of like this. He's like the Clint Eastwood character, the man with no name, or the tall stranger in Rango, if you want to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, he runs into different planets because being a bounty hunter, you're going to go to different planets capturing different guys that are alive. So you're going to see. This is another chance to expand the Star Wars universe because people talk about how the Star Wars movie keeps getting smaller. Everyone's always connected to someone. It just makes the universe feel smaller. So this is the first chance to actually make it feel like there's different planets with aliens we've never seen before. And we're gonna have it's not about just good guys versus bad guys. We're gonna be dealing with morally gray people doing what they do, and I'm sure we'll see both sides of everything. Like I don't think there'll be like too many overtly evil guys, and the bounty hunter's just the guy with the heart of gold. I think it's gonna be, this is the Wild West. Anything goes, basically.
No, well, I can't wait to see it. And, well, hopefully it does expand for the good. And, if people complain about it, it's so different. It needs to be connected to so-and-so. It needs to be connected to Luke Skywalker. It needs to be connected to Anakin. Who else? I don't know.
I don't think
What
there's any.
Mandalorian we're following? Boba Fett. I don't know what.
Right.
People keep thinking, but what's funny about him being designed with the T-Blazer, the grandma who don't watch Star Wars but knows the names will be like, that Boba Fett guy?
Or is it that Django fat guy?
If you're a prequel person.
Prequel.
So I think that was a calculated move to make it the Mandalorian. Oh, what's funny too is the fact that this is Jon Favreau. This is the man who helped launch the MCU. Happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed the first Iron Man.
But I don't hold it against that because I actually like that. So I mean, you did do Jungle Book too, so it's balance. Everything's
So
balanced.
yeah, the guy knows how to start things. So I have a great faith, and it's also not only is it Jon Favreau, but they're collaborating with
Freaking
Dave,
helping us, guys.
yeah, Dave Filoni.
Star Wars influence as George did in the original Star Wars.
Yeah, because Dave Filoni, he's that guy you see in interviews with the cowboy hat, kind of talks like this, and he's a guy who George handpicked to watch the studio for him. He learned under George because he was the lead director and animator for Clone Wars, and George was the guy telling him this. So Filoni is basically he was George was Qui-Gon and Filoni was his Obi-Wan, and now we have him basically teaming up with another great Jedi Master who's well respected, and they're both going to make something great. Well, that's the hope. Because don't forget,
So this doesn't pan out, we still have the final season of Clone Wars to come in February. So,
I don't see any way to fill, but we must keep ourselves open to the possibility that this might, rock the boat in a way that we don't want it to. Because,
people are so critical nowadays. They'll complain about anything. They'll even complain. One tiny little smudge. That is pointless.
I know.
When you're critical, maybe think of Anakin. He's overly critical, and he's holding me back.
Sorry. Alright.
But yeah,
The only big thing that's coming out this week. Obviously, for all the game enthusiasts, we have the Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, one last thing on Mandalorian too. The music is going to be done by Louis Gorasan, I think his name is pronounced. He's the guy who scored Black Panther, Creed, and Venom.
Oh, he's gonna do a good job.
I love his art, and I think we're going to have that drastically different music than the usual Star Wars flavor, because I know John Williams is he's critical to this. He's very important to the whole thing, but I think because this is a different show, we might have a different musical style.
Well, as long as they kind of somewhat keep that Star Wars from it, but just change it just a little bit.
You know what I would like? You know how Django had a lot of drum music? Remember when Obi-Wan was hanging onto that droid and the purple green faced lizard lady was Sam was shooting him? They had a boom, 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 boom.
Drums.
That was very Django.
I would say to me it reminded me of the Predator just a bit.
Well, I wouldn't mind that with the Mandalorian, because he is a Predator guy. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of Predator, Dylan is in this thing. Carl Weathers.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's. I seen him in the trailer.
Dylan's still alive, huh?
He's actually the guy who gives the bounty hunter his first job, I think, because he's basically a guy who gets jobs and he tells other hunters, this guy's worth this much. He's with the Hunters Guild, so that's Carl Weathers' role.
Bounty hunting is a complicated occupation.
What did you say? Yeah, that's Werner Herzog. That is a guy who does documentaries, and he's known for talking like that. So when he heard his voice in the trailer, damn, that guy, they got him to play an Imperial. It's so they're getting a lot of weird talent involved. Not like they're bad, but a lot of people you wouldn't expect to ever see in Star Wars. Like Bill Burr, the guy who made fun of Arnold. Yeah, he's that bald guy you see with lasers in a big shot. So the thing is that he always joked how he never watched Star Wars, and he always made fun of nerds who took it way too seriously. And he happens to be in it. So,
well, yeah. So I hope it all goes well.
Here's another thing too. I hope there's more aliens, because let's face it, as much as we love what's going on right now in the movies, they've been a little light on the alien representation. Yeah, we get one or two characters.
You know what? I personally think they focus too much on droids than aliens. I personally want to see more on the aliens.
Yeah, because we've had so there's a few aliens
That's not true. I mean, we had that. Sorry, I'm lost for words sometimes, guys. The word will come to me and then it will leave my brain.
I know Rhea was a good alien in Solo.
There's that one alien in Force. No, there was a bunch of aliens in Force Awakens that we got to see.
Yeah.
But that's for the blink and you miss it cameos.
Uh-huh. But
there
I personally
some aliens in the Resistance too, especially that.
I didn't notice that.
And
that big capybara looking guy, let's have our fleet missing. Remember?
Right, yeah.
And then there's.
Well, I would say all I see the aliens, they come by so fast and then they get killed by an enemy and then boom, they're gone.
Oh, like that Elo Asti, that horse face looking pilot.
Yeah.
We hit a direct hit, but no damage, and he got I'm hit.
I'm hit and explodes.
And then
Last Jedi, so it's
Oh, Last Jedi we had Canto by it, so. Oh, Fathiers, the horses. I love seeing those things.
I love seeing them. I personally still don't like the fact that there was all that hate.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to delve into
know.
that. That's a long, sad discussion that could last 2 podcasts.
I know. Okay, but back on track.
So, but in the trailer we already got this little those pig-looking aliens that tore apart 3PO. We got the twin-tailed people, the Twi'leks.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
Neat.
Like good fortune. What now?
I always thought it was pronounced Twi'leks.
Yeah, Twi'lek, yeah.
Twiley.
If you want to see a lot of aliens in Star Wars, the Clone Wars had a lot of them, for the Senate, especially the Senator-themed episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You had Rhodians, Greedo's kind. You had Ahsoka's kind, Torguta's. You had those weird little four-eyed abominable snowman-looking guys with the proboscis mouths, the talls, I think they're called.
Yep, those are the talls.
They're basically icemen. They're basically like oh hell, even the Gandhi series had the Nelbon, those weird little Navi-looking people. I even told Derek they're a lot like the Navi, aren't they? And we realized, holy shit, this came out a whole 4 years before Avatar too.
Oh boy.
But it's true, they look exactly like the Navis, but big eyes and cat-like features.
And they talk in a foreign language, like "Itopan," like that kind of deal.
Oh my gosh.
They got tribal markings. Like,
Who ripped off who? Just kidding.
I know.
well, to be fair, James and George were kind of friends, so.
And James has been trying to get Avatar off the ground for decades. I'm pretty sure that was George's cute way of saying, "Here, Jim, here's your Avatar for you." He's right. George and Jim are friends, so.
That's great.
Yeah. So, okay, now we can go to Fallen Order game, which is you get to play a Jedi
who is played by one of the almost Jokers from Gotham, apparently.
Yeah, it's funny.
Let go of.
Because, as you know, Mark Hamill played Luke, and he went on to play Joker.
Yeah, I know that.
So now we got a guy who played Joker in one of those, not Batman shows. It's Batman, but they don't call it Batman. It's weird to explain, but Gotham. And he was the Joker in that one. And now he's going to be Cal Kestis.
There's like 3, just like in the comics.
Yeah, so the idea is that this is after episode 3, after spoilers for episode 3 if you haven't seen it, but anyway,
who hasn't?
Where the Jedi have been wiped out by the Empire.
66.
It'll be done with it. But yeah, so so the thing is, it happened after that. All the Jedi are considered dead. So
is it?
Even though it's funny considering that we have Rebels, we have a bunch of books, and we have this video game that says, "Oh, oops, missed one."
Mhm. Although,
not that good.
I'm actually thinking, is it kind of like that old Star Wars game you used to play back on the old PC computer?
Oh no, that's Dark Forces. That's.
No, I'm just thinking, is it kind of like that? Or is it kind of like when we basically kill Lando?
Yeah, again, that's also, that's Jedi Outcast, but no, it's more like Starkiller game, kind of.
Okay.
Because that's also set between episode 3 and 4.
Well, it's not exactly like the Starkiller game, because that one was a hack and slash, but this one's definitely got the gameplay. It's not, you're never going to do crazy stunts with just one, tap of a button.
So, would you compare it to, God of War or Assassin's Creed?
It's like Dark Souls, but not the difficulty of Dark Souls.
Oh, give me that vote.
There's a lot of thought into your actions.
Well, yeah, so...
defense and action, reactions and all that.
Now, obviously,
armed guards who know what the fuck they're doing, and guys that wants to bite your head off, so...
Yeah, so, and by the way, I know people are complaining about how, I have a lightsaber, yet that stormtrooper only has a slash mark. Why can't I dismember them? They're saying how I read a reason they said that there's a story-based reason why they say that usually in the saga, dismemberment only happens at very critical parts in the story. Otherwise, you don't get people seeing it hacked a dime a dozen.
Basically, did you basically just become pieces?
Swords where it's not clean cuts, but it's still enough that they're brought down.
Yeah, but it's if you remember in Star Wars, they use lightsabers often, but you hardly see people get dismembered unless it was a critical moment, Luke losing his hand in Empire.
Apparently one of the creatures whose physiology don't allow for cauterized wounds.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they were saying that was to show you the power of the lightsaber that Kenobi, because we only saw a lightsaber, we didn't know what that thing could do until it cut that he doesn't like you guys arm off, Iggy.
And I still don't understand. Still to this day, he was bleeding there, and yet, as the Star Wars movies progress, you don't see blood anymore.
I think they explain how either 2 ways. Either one, the lightsaber has a setting where it can be super powerful or super sharp. So either way, either heat the wound or it won't. Or like Derek said, that the alien's body doesn't quite normally, it bleeds, it doesn't cauterize. So.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
So, oh man, if that's true, then it was very messy on Mustafar because a couple of those aliens were in the council that Anakin attacked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, so that's what they say in Jedi Fallen Order, that they can't give specifics, but they say like dismemberment can happen, but like I
Yeah,
say,
like you have to be like very focused attacks.
like has to be for only like because only certain like bosses and characters will allow for that, because they're saying that if you do it to everyday stormtroopers, it kind of like will lose its effect if you could just hack and slash someone's head off willy nilly.
Just for fun?
That's, if you want to have that
Run
kind
on
of
a massacre.
have that kind of fun, just play Jedi Outcast with the realistic Jedi code.
I still remember that one time we played it and you basically was talking in the cutscene. You had that on. Lightsaber pointed was the cutscene ended.
And then after the cutscene ended, the guy got dismembered immediately.
But it's funny you mentioned Jedi Outcast because they actually got a re-release with PS4 and Switch.
I don't know if you can still input the code though. I don't know what needed for that. I think that's a PC only thing.
That's how we actually killed Lando.
Yeah, because like, you don't even have to swing your blade. The minute you just move it with that blade part, instant damage to whatever it touches.
I personally love that code.
But yeah, so Jedi.
Yeah. I actually think you maybe getting it for the Switch because like the ability to play that game like anywhere is it's just mind blowing. Plus, let's face it, the Switch really definitely needs a Star Wars game.
Hell, Nintendo's been pretty sparse on Star Wars games in general.
I found that rumor of them re-releasing the Rogue Squadron games on there.
Ooh, they have to. They have to, because those, those games, Iggy, that you're flying around.
You mean the one we have on the GameCube?
Yeah, because what's a very sad aside. Back then, in sometime around the 2010s, Factor 5 was actually working on a remaster of all three of those games to release them for the Wii, plus some new stuff made just for the Wii, like utilizing the motion control, like some lightsaber dueling. It was going to be, the Rogue Squadron trilogy, and we thought that would have been awesome. Unfortunately, by that point, their financial woes caught up with them, and they had to scrap the project. But they said that the build was basically ready to ship.
Ready?
They just needed Lucasfilm to get back to them and approve the things so they can wide release it, and they had financial problems at that point. So
all I gotta do is just quote Fox McCloud. That's a shame.
Yeah, all they have, but they have the files. They have a build. All they have to do is find a dev kit, find a way to move it over and make the Switch work.
I personally
sure they can find a way to make it work. Like if they made Jedi Outcast work, it's guaranteed.
I think Factor 5 itself is defunct, no longer exists, but I think the guys are still working for different companies, so if they can find a way to round them up and make them re-release it.
I personally, wouldn't mind seeing a possible remaster of it on the Switch, on the GameCube.
I think even for its age, that game still looks amazing. I love playing the Death Star trench run missions on that game.
You know what? Actually, with you mentioning that, what they were going to do for the Wii, I was thinking back to the arcade of Star Wars Trilogy.
Oh my gosh, Star Wars Trilogy arcade. If they made a home port of that, I'd be dead.
Yeah. But I actually almost beat that one with the Darth Vader ending. It's just I was just one or two swings less of a complete, but I didn't die, but it's just
the Force is strong with you, but you are not a Jedi yet.
Yep, that's exactly the message I got. But
I always got to beat him.
Dying, so
your skills are complete. And if you turn off your lightsaber, the Emperor will say, "So be it, Jedi." Oh, but no, you know who I always lose to?
I hope you guys actually managed to try the Battle Pod, because me and my brother actually got to try it out, and it's incredible. The scope and the surroundings, the way they projected the game in that thing, it makes you feel like you're actually flying in there.
Hell, I got whiplash from that game. I'm like, whoa! I felt like it literally kicked my ass when it came out. I'm like, just like.
You know, I personally gotta try it myself. Sure, I'll probably suck at it because I'm not much of a.
No, I know. Flight simulators are hard to persist unless it's Star Fox.
Unless it's Star Fox, then that's good. I'm good. I can take it.
But yeah,
But actually, funny thing, still Star Wars, thank God. I had this one time where I had this weird trippy ass dream where it's a school trip for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's like senior trip. But we find this place that there's this arcade, and I don't know where it's this experimental arcade machine that's a port of Jedi Outcast apparently, and it has this VR headset and this long arm that can simulate swinging a lightsaber. Is just thinking about it, it's just like, why doesn't anyone actually try to do this? Like, I've actually seen arcade machines where, like, they emulated, like, swiping swords. Like, it was, like, this ninja game that had its phone sword that you just swipe and it would react on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, like, you'd think that would be the one thing that LucasArts would have capitalized on. Like,
don't forget, they were always about pushing the envelope before their dissolution and reacquirement by Disney Interactive. So I don't know. Like you said, back then there was a buttload of Star Wars games that you'd get. There'd be like 4 or 5 almost within the decade. Like damn, like a lot of them.
it was like every year there was a Star Wars game that was coming out that just, like, grabbed your attention. It was like Republic Commando, there was Battlefront, there was a Lego Star Wars game.
For the most part, most of them were well received. There was only a few here or there that were kind of like, but for the most part, it was, they were well done.
Also,
some of the more, like, what the hell were they actually even thinking? Look for the early PlayStation games, like Demolition, like those types
Yoda
of
stories.
Oh,
Yoda story. That one was just what?
no, that was funny.
Yoda stories. I personally want to see a report of that.
And then episode 1, where one glitch will cause you to randomly explode at times.
I want to see a remake of that game.
Kill the Jedi. Pew, pew, pew,
I'm not gonna have a murderer like you.
And for some reason, Obi-Wan Kenobi can use rocket launchers and blasters.
That's so weird. How could a Jedi use that stuff?
I know Jedi can't not use that, but I know they prefer lightsabers.
Right.
Well, yeah, but
I still remember this growing up with playing Jedi Power Battles. That was, like, at the time, that was like the closest you could actually get to playing as a Jedi. You know, before we got like stuff like Force Unleashed, and now this upcoming game, which needs to be getting a lot of good praise. This is an EA game, right, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's done by
Respawn.
one of Respawn. Those are the same guys who did the Titanfall games, right?
The Titanfall games and the Apex games.
What's funny is how they don't normally do this kind of game, but they went with it. And like I said, because as we know, there was another game being made by Vicarious Visions, and that got canned. But it had one of the directors of Uncharted, that adventure game with the Johnny Cage looking guy.
Yeah, Johnny Cage.
It wasn't Vicarious. That Vicarious is Activision.
Oh, I must have confused. No.
Visceral games.
Visceral, the guys who made Dead Space.
Right, Dead Space.
I never seen Dead Space, but from what I hear, that game is scary.
Oh, I played a demo of it, and even the demo scared me. Like, Jesus.
I love Dead Space. It's so awesome.
Hell, the closest you can get to playing a game version of John Carpenter's The Thing.
And Alien Isolation?
It's like actually Aliens, yeah. Aliens and The Thing mixed into one, and Resident Evil mixed into one terrifying package.
First game came out the same time as Resident Evil 4, but the difference to it is Dead Space actually managed to allow you to move while you're aiming your gun, so.
Yeah, so, but yeah, those guys are the ones that we're going to make a Star Wars game that's set in Coruscant. And like the director, she used to work with Insomniac on the Naughty Dog, work with Naughty Dog on the Uncharted games.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that ended up getting shafted after.
Because let's think about multiplayer. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course, Take-Two Respawn is like, yeah, that actually sounds kind of fucking stupid.
because after the whole implosion of that project and fans really got pissed off at EA, I think they decided to they learned their lesson and they let Respawn take the baton all the way through.
You know, I just heard that this Star Wars game is just a single player game and it has a lot more content. No offense to the games nowadays, but I personally don't like the whole online player thing.
A lot of people are like that actually.
This thing has none of that stuff. There's no
Okay, that's good.
microtransactions, no multiplayer, no unlocking things by paying things. This thing is basically old school.
On top of that, Jay told me that there's actually full-on lightsaber customization, not just changing your blade color, but a lot of effects and the hilt parts. You get to customize your lightsaber.
And not only that, but the previews might actually have you convinced, thinking, oh well, it's single player and all, but it's kind of a little bit linear, isn't it? Nope, it ain't linear. Maybe some forward, but not linear at all, especially with the amount of worlds you're able
So then
to.
it's just going to a straight line and everything.
Well, it better not be like Skyrim.
No, it's not. It's not that huge expansive.
Yeah, it's not open world, full-on open world.
Okay, good. No offense, but
Although a Star Wars
don't
open world, I would love a Star Wars game that's basically Grand Theft Auto but with scoundrels.
Yes.
Just hijack speeders and just.
Personally, I want it to be like Vice City.
Yeah. And you could visit Canto Blight and smash that place apart. Blast away aliens left and right as stormtroopers try to apprehend you.
Mm-hmm. Actually, why can't I?
How come no one's made that game?
Actually, why can't I picture you using that weapon? Remember that weapon that Grievous basically took from his men?
Yeah.
You're just whacking people with that.
Actually, I think I know why that game never got made. Lucasfilm is also very protective of their image because George was the head man and he didn't want to have a Star Wars game that was basically Grand Theft Auto. I think you'd be like, no.
Now think about it. A Star Wars Grand Theft Auto game, as much as fun as it would be, I think it'll probably pretty much make people, at least mainly parents, concerned about it.
Why is my kid?
And let's also face the facts here. At the end of the day, and I say this wholeheartedly to all of our listeners out there, Star Wars is made for kids too. We all grew up on Star Wars. We were little, we were young, we saw all the sword swinging and the spaceships exploding and all of the romances and tension and all that.
Yep.
And we were hooked as kids. And Star Wars is pretty much that kind of fantasy for every young boy or young girl growing up. This is their livelihood. And if the thing that kind of pissed me off is that people think they have justification to wall this off. No, we don't need this kiddie crap in our Star Wars. Star Wars is supposed to be serious business, and you can have serious Star Wars moments. Empire Strikes Back, guys. You can't get as more serious than that, or Revenge of the Sith. But you still have to find that grounding, the anchoring that there's a young audience that are looking into this that are getting absorbed to all of this dark stuff as well.
Because notice how as dark as Revenge of the Sith gets, there's still some lines that still doesn't cross for the sake of children. We don't actually see Anakin slaughtering the younglings.
No. But I'm just saying though that pretty much I bet you if it was basically Grand Theft Auto, Star Wars, and all that stuff, I think parents will be knocking down at their door saying, well, I want my kid playing this stuff.
Oh my, you're beating somebody to death with a Magna staff and there's a pool of blood underneath them.
Yeah.
You're blasting helpless civilians left and right with your blaster fire. And you're actually not getting penalized for it. You're getting stormtroopers on you, but
not just stormtroopers being basically the cops. You're running on speeders. Well, I know for whatever reason those lizards are bad. That's for all I care.
And the bath is the slowest vehicle you could take. Although that would make for a very great mod if you got those modders who know how to mod things.
Yeah, it sounds like the whole thing sounds like a mod that anyone can make for like Grand Theft games to make out of, but it's not something that like Disney or Lucasfilm is ever gonna like commission right out of the gate.
Yeah, if there's anything about Star Wars, even when it goes a little more edge, it usually tends to still be like in the teenage, like adolescent, like 12 to teenage age.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as violent as some of these films get, they never get past the teenage violence rating.
Well, that's good.
I mean, because that's why I doubt we'll ever see an R-rated Star Wars movie ever.
I personally cannot ever picture an R-rated film for Star Wars. It's not, I would say, illogical or...
Not logical, yeah.
Yeah, logical, yeah. It's not...
That is highly illogical.
Yeah. I personally cannot see it go...
We would be talking about Star Trek here, and now we've devolved to this.
Sorry.
Yeah, there is logic in what he says.
Okay, back on Star Wars. No, back to Star Wars.
You think of, you hear that type of games? Consider yourselves beat. Then, all right, back to Star Wars.
I'm the only one that likes to ship Kylo and Rey.
Reylo, he's a Reylo proponent.
I'm still buying that Rey and Poe get together, and the little matchmaker is Beamy. He's like the little kid that just sees that the two people they admire actually might have something going on, and he'll do whatever to like get them together so that he can have both like best of both worlds together.
Plus, Ray Dameron has a nice ring to it, don't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the ship name might be either Ro or Pei. Rope, Ray, yeah. Although there's people who really want it to be Pin.
Oh.
And John Boyega and Oscar Isaac likes to joke about that too. Like, oh, look at us, we're holding hands. Like, to be funny about how gay Poe and are for each other.
I'm totally fine with that. I don't mind Yowie.
But at the same time, like, come on then. But I mean, as cute as it is seeing Finn try to like give it his all for Rey, I don't think they're gonna be shipped.
I personally can't see them being shipped. For a reason, I'm just more of a Ben and Rey.
Mm-hmm. And just to clarify, it's not just because he's black. But
No!
I know.
No. It's nothing to do with that at all.
I know.
They
had a great chemistry, but yeah, I think it's a one-sided thing. I think Rey sees Finn as a very good friend. I think Finn wants it to be more. But I think they said in a new article that Boyega confirms that at this point Finn ain't too romantically involved with Rose or Rey. So I think if anything, he might end up with that Jana chick that we saw in the previews. The one who helps them with the horse beings on that grass planet.
Yeah.
She's be related to a certain Calrissian.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, and then but yeah, I like how we went from games to let's talk about Reylo.
Sorry. I just bring it up.
Hell, and does it help that the trailer feels it too?
I think they are shipped, but only in that they're nemesis. Nemesis.
Speaking of Nemesis, that turns 20 tomorrow. Well, it's already been 20. I'm just saying it's the American release tomorrow. At the time of this recording,
Sweet.
But yeah, Nemesis. Now that one. Well, we were talking about R-rated and mature rated Star Wars games. But, I wouldn't mind a Resident Evil style, adventure with like the Death Troopers or something like that.
Well, I personally wouldn't mind seeing a somewhat other Metroid Other M kind of in terms of sneaking around, looking around. When Samus was doing that.
Well, kind of like Metal Gear, kind of.
Yeah, like Metal Gear, basically.
If you're a rebel spy trying to infiltrate like great stuff in it, like there's a lot that can be done with Star Wars gaming wise. So the fact that we're kind of like,
it's so laughable that EA had this 10-year contract And in a 10-year span, we've only got like 3 official games for them, not counting all the MOBA stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually.
Mm.
Who?
Like, you want to know how many games came out in like the 10-year span whenever it was LucasArts? Trick question. Too damn many to count.
So, what game company would you love to see get a crack at the license after EA's contract expires?
Honestly, I think Ubisoft might actually be able to pull something off with it.
Assassin's Creed guys, King Kong guys, those guys again.
No, Ubisoft, let me know.
Watch Dogs, yeah.
Yeah. I can also picture,
Yeah, they do like to have ways to like flesh out the worlds a lot.
Although it would be those would be guaranteed open world games, I think.
Yeah,
Given how big the recent Assassin's Creeds are.
mm-hmm.
But like Ubisoft likes to do things have like that flesh worlds out, and something like that would like blow like the minds of something like Hello Greedo, who would like be chomping.
Stormtrooper guy, like, I'm full of shit. Suck shit. Oh, I gotta be porging that one. I love his ad about the Crap Sucker 3000. Help me. I'm filled with too much. But yeah, a game company I would like to see take a crack at it would be like Platinum Games. I think that's their name. I think.
You definitely want them to do like a prequel style game with like top Jedi combat.
Like are those the guys who did Nier Automata recently?
Was it them? I know that they did Astral Chain.
Oh yeah, I heard that was actually pretty good. And then another company that's still in service that would do well by Star Wars, I think, would be not Konami, unfortunately.
Ugh, no.
Capcom, I don't think so
Why
either.
do I want to see
I don't know. Maybe
a
Capcom's
fighting game of
can
Star
turn
Wars?
around.
It's weird.
We already had Master of Terras Kasi with Horde the Tusken Raider and Han Solo punching Darth Vader's lightsaber to no effect.
Okay, I don't know why I just thought about that, and I'm like, was there ever a fighting Star Wars game? Like, well, I want to see one.
Master of Terras Kasi.
Like,
Well, that's also the Vader, Starkiller, and Yoda being guest characters in Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur, she's gonna bring that up. Yeah.
Yep, I was. You knew me.
Because hell, back not only did Jay's recommendation in the book got me into Force Unleashed, but also playing the characters in Soul Calibur was pretty fun.
Although I personally think Soul Calibur 4 was just a big ass ad for
Unleashed.
I don't like it that much. It was just a big old cash hog just for. Oh, hey, look at this! Look at this! It's
Because the ending of for Starkiller basically says to be continued in the Force Unleashed, basically.
And that pretty much Soul Calibur 4 did not even happen because they don't remember it. Because Vader doesn't remember giving Soul Edge.
Like Raiden said to Sub-Zero, I had a strange dream about a Cape Crusader and a Boy Wonder. How have you seen my dream? Ooh, Star Wars fighting game. If you still want to go on that, do you think NetherRealm should probably take a crack at that?
I was thinking about that. NetherRealm.
I don't know. I have to get. These are types of questions where I can't say a strict yes or no to.
There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
What's it?
I don't really want to say Bethesda nowadays, especially after
The Fallout incident.
The 76 incident. Fallout first. Oh my god, that's a disaster and a half.
And then also, I think Blizzard's good graces are going to have a huge PR storm after what happened recently, but we can't get into that. But that's just a whole sad story on its own. But you know what we need?
I personally wouldn't mind just seeing a remake of the very old computer game TIE Fighter and X-Wing.
Oh, definitely. But you know what we really need? Another RTS. The Star Wars series has been great for real-time strategy games.
Well, if we're thinking of that, we would have to go to Sega with What was the guys? It did.
Creative Assembly.
Yeah, Creative Assembly. Yeah. Because I know that they're kind of back and forth of their quality with
Total
their
War.
series, but I haven't heard anything bad from them lately. So it's like maybe it's back in good grace again.
And I would say, I think
I never that the backing of Star Wars money would definitely like put it into the good graces.
and I don't know if CG Project Red would ever want to do, because they're too busy doing Cyberpunk and Witcher. I don't think they'd want to do like a licensing like Star Wars on the matter of principle.
Telltale wanted to do a Star Wars game, before they imploded, but the there might still be hope with that Second Wind company they're going under as or most of the development team from.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got the rights to, Wolf Among Us, the Batman game, Guardians.
Walking Dead.
No, Walking Dead is actually, unfortunately, with someone else, because they had to finish the final season.
I personally wouldn't mind seeing a Star Wars game done like in the Walking Dead style. Get to choose choices.
Just do a little better than the Jurassic Park game. As much as I like that Jurassic Park game, it was a little wonky.
Yeah.
A little wonky. Now another company that's I think would be pretty fascinating would be to get like I don't know. I think a couple of Japanese companies might take a good crack at it, like Namco or something. I don't know.
Actually, would Square Enix actually pull off doing a good Star Wars game?
An RPG. Let's see how they do the Avengers game. That looks promising.
Yeah.
Now, I would like a full-blown RPG that isn't a Jedi thing, because I think that's because we've had the KOTOR series for that. So I want to see like a different style RPG in the world of Star Wars.
Like they have to like maybe they could try to do the Star Wars Galaxies route. I mean, the early days where, like, if you wanted to be a Jedi, you had to actually work your ass off to open up to being a Jedi.
I can actually kind of picture a Star Wars game playing like Mass Effect.
Well, that's BioWare. They already did it with KOTOR.
Right.
BioWare, like, just
they're in their own
more
satire
after Anthem, so
Oh yeah, Andromeda and Anthem was a 1-2 punch for them.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of good companies that are still coming out from under the woodwork to make quality games. But I wouldn't mind a port of Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. I would just like,
Your life's complete.
Yeah, although I could just build my own cabinet like that guy showed us. He actually fixed it where the graphics are better. Okay.
Great. Yeah, I personally wouldn't mind actually doing that. You want to start?
Speaking of arcades, One Up Arcade just released their Atari Star Wars tribute.
Mm-hmm.
you
Neat.
mean the replica arcades, like the 1-ups?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like the later releases they do, like with Mortal Kombat and Turtles in Time and the Marvel games. They're just so close to making me want to go. I really want them, but at the same time, I kind of already have those types of games. But it's like Star Wars is to me like, dude, I don't care if it's like $500. I want that in my house right now.
Well, definitely, because it's the original one where they're like in those vector graphics, Iggy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guns on the surface, and then but yeah, I think but yeah, if they release a trilogy one of those, that thing's gonna be on layaway. I'm gonna work my ass off to get that.
Well, let's face it, that Star Wars trilogy game, it was childhood, man.
I'll honestly wait for when it goes on clearance. Like most of those arcade things.
Well, yeah.
When it hits that 200, then it might be in my grasp.
Well, like I said, I do like the Mortal Kombat one because Raiden's on the side of it, and me and my Thunder God.
I personally wouldn't mind personally a re-release. I know technically Primal Rage 2 was never completed or done.
But the Primal Rage game, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Now, It'd be very funny if there was a Star Wars game, a VR game, where you get to play as a Porg the whole time.
I'm pretty sure that the Lego Skywalker Saga might actually make you do that.
Just be a Porg and like step on the lightsaber or something. I don't know. Oh, no.
But
You
I'm
know,
honestly that because like you think that they're just gonna re-release. It's just a re-release of like the old ones.
no,
But
it's from the ground up new game.
the Lego models look a lot different from like the simplistic ones from like the old days. Like
Here's the big question.
Vader and Luke, like Luke definitely has his more unique, you know, headpiece for his hair to look different than just the, the basic matted down blonde.
One time in Lego Star Wars 2, in the Overworld hub in the cantina, every Luke was out there. Like, it would be like Jedi Luke, Pilot Luke, Farm Boy, like they were all there, and we just started punching all the Lukes, and they all exploded. It was so funny.
Yep. You know what? I personally prefer those. No offense to the new ones, but I prefer those ones because it was just simple. There was no talking straight from the movie audio. It was just
Those funny little grunts and verbal things. It was cute that way. Although, but my favorite code.
At least they still managed to capture like the silly, weird, out of nowhere, like pantomiming shenanigans, even with the newer ones.
But my favorite code ever is to turn on exploding droids and I would just walk into a crowd of droids and just blow up with that.
Or just a crowd of stormtroopers and then just blow.
And then you'd hear R2 or 3PO make noises.
Oh my. Oops.
All right, so I think we covered what we covered with this one for now for our inaugural episode. I'll try to get this up as soon as I can. By the time it comes up, Mandalorian probably will come out. So I think obviously, whenever the next we get together and record, we'll be talking about our reactions to it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm pretty sure, like 9 times out of 10, it's just gonna be us just gushing over like every little tiny little Easter egg that we come across in those things.
Yeah, it won't be a recap by recap unless we're like talking about something specific. Like, what do you think of this moment? Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for giving us at least a shot with this, because we honestly have no idea what we're doing, but we just wanted to do it because we just feel like it.
Just that's what George did years ago. George was way in over his head, but he figured, oh, this is my movie. I want to actually make something that's good, and I want to do it my way. So new hope happened because of that. Now our world has forever been changed because of that. And I'm not trying to put too much importance in this movie, but just that. I mean, there's no understatement saying that Star Wars was shaped by men like George thinking, let's do it, like just going out on a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm. As a lot of games are.
So that's what we're doing now. So we'll see if there's any more of this. So I'm gonna be like George. Well, if people like it, I can go ahead and make these other ones. But if I don't, well, at least I've gone and made it. So.
And well, if no one doesn't like it, we'll just make them. We'll find some.
There'll be an audience, hopefully.
Yep.
All right. So all right. So any other final words?
Would it be a cliche if I actually use the line?
Go ahead.
Have a good time. Hopefully you might enjoy some of your holidays, and the Force will be with you all, always.
Yeah. Iggy, anything you want to say?
I can't think of anything.
I don't know what you want to say. Just go ahead and say like, let's look at me in the face.
Okay. Eat you that. And meow. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Meow. Okay. Alrighty then. So that's it, and that's the way it's always been. To rip off another guy I listen to. You'll know if he hears it. Alrighty then. Jonesy Cat signing off, and may the force of others be with you always.
Bye bye.